Mr. Gonzales, the gentleman from Texas, for 5 minutes question.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Secretary, for being here today. I don't want to talk about you. I want to talk about the men and women that serve under you, and particularly some of the threats that they're dealing with. This transnational criminal organization, TDA, Tran de Agua, these Venezuelan gangs, they're growing in influence. They're growing in criminal activity throughout the country, and I believe they are a significant threat to our homeland. And it's not just regional. It's not just Miami. It's not just New York. It's all over the place. So my question is specifically on HSI. What is Homeland Security Investigations doing to tackle TDA?
Congressman, Homeland Security Investigations and our sister agencies in the federal government have an unprecedented attack against not only transnational criminal organizations, but domestic operations here as well, and I can provide you with details subsequent to this hearing with respect to our efforts against that specific gang.
I would appreciate that. Is HSI part of FBI's transnational anti-gang task force?
I believe it is.
This is something I think that's important, that we use every lever of government tools, both at the federal, state, and local level, to go after these criminals. I'm talking about hardened criminals, bad actors that are in our communities. How do we find them? How do we prevent them from committing crimes? Being part of that, I think HSI is going to be on the forefront of a lot of that. I'm going to talk, I represent a large part of West Texas, and oil and gas is a big part of that. And I was on a recent swing through West Texas where they're seeing a rising amount of oil theft. And I bring this up because some of this is tied, a lot of it is tied to this open border crisis. Some of these actors are not American citizens. And so there's this what do you do with someone? You pull someone over, they're not a U.S. citizen. Clearly, this is where Homeland Security should have a role to play in this. So once again, do you know if HSI is part of the Permian Basin oil field theft task force?
Congressman, I'll have to find out. I do not know the answer to that specific question.
I think it would be important if they're not, that they look into this. Once again, this is an interconnection where it's, how do you use every lever and every tool? And part of that, if you pull someone over and they're not a U.S. citizen, Homeland Security has a role to play in that, to determine who is this person, right? Why are they here illegally? What do you do with them? What I'm seeing now is, in some cases, the local law enforcement will just release them. There is no one to turn them over to. And you could see this train wreck coming a mile away, where we have apprehended someone that, once again, I'm not talking about all people. I'm talking about a bad actor that would have been apprehended committing a, let's say, low-level crime or another crime, and then all of a sudden, a year later, a month later, they commit a serious crime. I want to get ahead of that, and I believe HSI is going to be a big part of working with the FBI and these local and state task forces in order to get that done. I would ask that you bring to your attention, because energy is it's critical infrastructure, and it's important that we protect that. And I'm seeing this grow. I mean, when I went through this swing a year ago, there was 3 counties that brought it up. I just got done with this thing. Every county brought it up. Every sheriff I'm talking to is bringing it up. And I'm seeing the threat grow. I'm seeing it expand. My last question is on the increase in Chinese nationals that we see. I mean, the numbers are astronomical, specifically in California and some of those areas. I know what can we do? Is there anything in particular that we can do to have a direct conversation with China to get this to stop? Clearly, this is an issue, and it's a rising issue. China is a difficult actor to deal with. Is there anything in particular that Congress can do in order to prevent China from sending its people over?
Congressman, I'd like to consider what legislative action would be warranted, but I can assure you that I share your concern with respect to the issue, and have engaged with my counterpart from the People's Republic of China, and we have in fact made strides in the removal of Chinese nationals who do not qualify for relief in the United States.
I think there needs to be
your concern.
I think there needs to be more of that, and I think it needs to be more public. There needs to be more highlighting of the fact of, if you come here illegally from China, we are going to send you back. With that, I'm going to yield back, Chairman, and I appreciate it.